But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
After giving the insulation some time to settle and make sure nowhere sagged, I could now get on with the interior. I'd also managed to get my hands on some free Celotex, so I was able to insulate the back panel as well. This is all now Celotex. I think it was 30mm or 35mm Celotex. I'm going to go with 30mm. I got it off Facebook Marketplace for free. There was a guy that had loads of offcuts from something he was doing, and he let me have an offcut base of that size, a little bit bigger, free of charge. So I was happy with that. I'm trying to keep this build as low as possible because that's the whole thesis, isn't it, really? eBay and Facebook Marketplace, as much as I hate Facebook, I'm never on it, is brilliant for stuff like that. You know, you could go out and buy a full sheet of Celotex for, I don't know how much it goes for these days, it's not cheap. Or someone who's about to throw some in the skip and let it go into landfill, just gives it away and you've repurposed it. So it's, I like that. I like when you can use something that's otherwise going to go in the bin. I gave the insulation a bit of time to see if it'd sag, because obviously I don't want to go ahead and start cladding this and finishing it and then it just sag on me. And sure enough, this side over time has started to give way a little bit. I just put my hand underneath there and there's condensation built up where the gap was. So again, if I was to leave an air gap like that, it's going to condensate, slowly peel the rest of the glue off, and it's just going to knacker it. So all the areas that have gave way a bit, I've just took back off, sprayed it with some self-adhesive, and that's now going off, and I'm about to push that back up. I've given it a good dry up there as well, so that should go up and never come back down again. Right. Yeah, that is that. This is the stage where now I could balls it up a little bit. I need to think getting this carpeted, the pod bit, but I also need to think about where the wood's going so that I can tuck the carpet behind it and finish it neatly, and also get all the wires in, switches, lights, mood lighting. Yeah, just got to think about it really. So I routed the solar wires through the glands in the back face here. They're now coming up here. They're going to get cut into the Celotex. They then drop into the control cupboard where they used to go. You've got the RGB cable. That's for the mood lighting. This is the rear side marker. So on top of that now I need to get a loom to come in, go to roughly where I want a switch or two switches, and then up and around this sort of area, same on the other side. I probably want to switch the mood lighting as well, independently from the main bit in the van. I also need a USB in here, at least two. Yeah, it's quite a lot to do. Just took the light bar wires out because they were running out of that hole there. When I come to clad this, they're going to be in the way. So just trying to figure out a new way of doing it. All the wires, I'm trying to figure out ways of using things like the channels down here, the corner channels, and just trying to hide them so that when I come to board it's just nice and easy. But that does mean everything needs to be in now, including future proofing. So I need to put some extra wires in here left in a convenient spot where I can get to them still, basically. Probably here. I'll be able to like still push the carpet back and pull the extra wires through. Just so that once it's clad, I'm not going to be able to really sensibly pull wires back through. So I'm going to future-proof it a little bit. I also need to sort antenna needs wiring, and it's an antenna I've never seen before. Usually you just got like the male end and the female end and you click them together. This one's like a screw thing, and then it's got its own separate earth wire, I think. Really weird. That is just one wire, and I'm going to f***ing join this up. I had a brainwave the other day, and I'd say I'd be proud of myself, but it shouldn't have took me so long to realise. I need a sheet of ply for here and these two sections, and I was really struggling on how to do it. Like if I go to a builder's merchant and buy a big 8x4 sheet, it doesn't fit in my van either door. So then I was thinking, oh god, I'm going to sit in a car park and bloody cut it all out there and then sweep up, and yeah, nightmare. But then I thought B&Q do the cutting service, and as much as I loathe paying the B&Q prices, if I buy one sheet and get them to do all of my cuts, I can almost justify the price for that. It saves me about an hour's work of cutting it and faffing. And then all I have to do is cut the window holes, and then they can be screwed and bonded in. I'm also probably going to tackle the carpet tonight. Yeah, tackle the carpet. No, I'm not tackling the carpet tonight because I'm going out tonight. You know, can't forget about that one. Okay. Let's do that again. Okay. Oh, f*** off. Oh, this is so f***ing graceful. Right. I'm going to go for the carpet. No idea how it's going to pan out, to be honest. I know that it's going to easily do the lengths, but the question is, I need loads of overhang over there and loads of overhang over there. Do I have enough? There's going to be so much swearing in this bit. Probably going to make this a time lapse so that you can't hear it all. You've got to think when you're going around bends, it's not just going to do that, it's going to do that, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to the bend there, because mine angles that way, the carpet, the leftover carpet I've got is going to go like that. So I could get to the bottom and there won't be enough. So I've got to get a complete happy medium on what I'm doing, so it'll all cover. And what's happening is I can get the full stretch enough and get my centre point to do it, but as it gets just to the bottom, just before the mattress starts to hide it, basically, it just starts to bow away. But this is why I bought 4-way stretch. 4-way stretch is amazing carpet. My last job, we used to carpet all the vans in it. It's unbelievable how malleable it is. You can just push it and stretch it and get it to where you want it to go. So I'll do it on this corner. No, I won't do it on that corner. I'll do it on this bottom corner. So there's the corner, and you can just pull it as much as you want. But that's gone from there now to that big, and that's just the corner. You get a big area, you can literally just push it. It's great, and that's why I've picked this for this area, to be honest, because it was the only logical thing I could think of that would do this weird ass shape. You look at the sleeper cabs for like Luton vans and long haul truckers, all of them are done in 4-way stretch carpet because they're just that shape. You'd spend days trying to clad and do things with it. It's just no. the trick with carpeting is to not grab the area you're trying to work with, but the area ahead of it. So I've got a couple of creases here and this tube that's in the way. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the areas I want the carpet to be and I'm pulling it out of the way. And there we go. And eventually, it is hard, but you can. I mean, you can be really ruthless with the carpet. So I've still got this bit here. I'm just working it, and stretching, and stretching. And there it goes. There's one there. Stretch, and there it goes.
Despite the stretch carpet being forgiving, this was still the hardest carpeting job I've done. The angles were just so surreal, creases just kept popping up everywhere. So it's not perfect, there's a few blemishes and imperfections in it, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it come out.
I kept toying with the idea of, did I get the right colour? I was going to go darker, but I don't know, I think this smoke is pretty nice, matches the headliner. It's all good. Just got to go around all the edges now and trim everything down, get rid of all the excess. There's a lot of it, and I might be able to trim up some other bits. LEDs, well annoyed though because they're not true RGB like I asked for. It's a green LED, a red LED and a blue LED next to each other. That spreads the light out, so for things like my mood lighting that wouldn't work, it'd just look naff. But the way I'm doing it up here is the LEDs are going to sit on this face here. I'm then going to do 2 returns down either side, so there will literally just be a strip, and then I'm going to hopefully frosted plate over the front of it, so there'll just be a little beam of light. The fact that the LEDs will hit the board first, so the light will have to come down, I'm hoping will mean that you won't see the difference between the 3 colours. If it does, well, I'll have to get my long nose pliers back out and rip them out and put the proper ones in. Right, stick these up, wire them into the controller that does all the LED control, and see if it works. Now you can see the LEDs at the minute, so you won't see them eventually. But that is, oh hello, that is first light in the Slaphead. Yeah boy! Right, there's one thing I've learned recently about videoing and editing and whatever, is if you have colour changing lights, when you start chopping all the video together, it looks shit. So keep with one solid light, which we're going to go for, come on, if it'll let me, there we go. Well, I've been to B&Q, got all the boards cut, go here, here, there, and here, this one's already in. Yeah, I'm going to get them fitted and get all the board, the bottom bedboard finished. That's one. That. I'm gonna screw y'all!
No. Yeah, figuring it out, you know. In my 30s, you know, this incredible,
What have I got?
yeah.
2. I've got a blue one out there. That's very good.
There's a slight oversight here, getting all excited about Celotex and insulating. I forgot to put in wooden battens to screw the back panels to. It was getting a bit late into the night at this stage, so I decided to get all the jobs done that needed gluing and bonding so that they could dry overnight.
It was like, you know, college educated and trying to learn how to play this new game. These Native American dudes would put the smash down on them. The fucking old school, angry that the grandpa...
The last of the gluing jobs before I went to bed was the entrance surround. I was getting really tired of catching my trousers on the sharp bits sticking out everywhere, and this would give it a nice opportunity to just dry before I was back in and out.
Some screws. Beautiful. That go off. That's the surround basically done. I'll have to do something here, I'm not sure yet. Finish that off somehow. And buttons will be going in there. Yeah. Entrance done.
The next morning I got onto the last bit of boarding, the top sections that went around the windows. This was made a bit tricky because there was a massive delay on the internal window surrounds, so I had no real template or reference. But after a fair bit of measuring and faffing, I managed to get the dimensions. With them in and done, I got onto the last bit of the bed boards before they needed screwing in, drilling a series of holes into them to allow the mattress to breathe. And then it was on to shelves, although these are just temporary. This was now recent, so the pandemic had hit and I can't get the oak that I wanted to make the shelves out of. This bit I'm adding now isn't just to look nice, but it covers up the entry holes for all the wires both sides.
Considering I've got a whole new room, I thought I'd go for a whole new colour scheme. So the colour I've picked for the walls is this. Oh yes, lovely. As you probably noticed, it's pretty dark. I'm trying to light the place up a little bit, but it's a bit difficult. I'm really busy at the minute throughout the day, so the only time I really get to come up here and do a bit of work is in the evenings, and by that point it's dark up here. But I'll try and keep the place lit for you. Right. Oh. Okay. First splish of colour. Ah, yes. been fixed down now, so there's no more sagging. It's all screwed through the battens that are under these, some into the metal where there was just a bit of weakness still, because all here is like a mould in the metal for like a sunroof accessory or something, and that was causing some issues, so I've screwed straight into the metal there just to strengthen that, and now it's pretty goddamn solid. I think the mattress can go in for its final time.
Yeah, easier said than done. I was so glad this is the last time this thing was being moved. I had intended on neatening all the cuts on the mattress before it went in, but you know, it is some of these jobs you just can't be arsed with, and it's not on show, so bugger it. The window trims and a few of the bits arrived and needed cutting down, so looking like a freaking minion. Oh dear. Yeah, I got down to cutting them.
Come on now. Ugh, mess everywhere. Can't wait to get back to a sense of normality. Genuinely like having an extension built on your house with well, just being everywhere and nothing quite being in its place. There we go. Rather so, even matches the walls, which need either a clean or a touch in because they look rough. A little bit long, but that'll do.
And with that, it was done, barring some trim and bits that I can't get now because of the pandemic, but I'm sure there's those and plenty more additions to come. It's definitely the biggest and most surreal project I've took on the van so far, but overall now it'll revolutionise how I can use my van and open up space. Some have called it the Elvis hairdo, the beluga whale, 5 head, we've even had a pompadour. But I just call it my new upstairs bedroom.